Cheers.
Cheers. I'm actually repping today James Coffee Co., one of my dear friends, new friends in San Diego, actually picked this up for me. So I haven't even officially been to this coffee shop, but I'm drinking a yummy, yummy drink that she got me. And I happen to have some on standby for my day today because I'm actually mobile today. I'm out and about, and I'm like, I'm bringing all my Bon Temps because it's Tuesday Tea Talks and I need to stay hydrated. My voice has been, as you can tell, a little off. And so Bon Temps got me. What are you sipping on over there, love?
I'm sipping on Bon Temps green tea.
Nice.
I
Cute.
love it. I love their branding. I love everything about Bon Temps. Ethically sourced and just super conscious brand. And the woman who runs it is just amazing. So I'm super
Let us know what you're sipping on. Let us know what you're sipping on and say hello to the tribe.
We're doing the intro a little bit differently today, if you couldn't tell, because normally we're like, welcome to the show, da, da, da. But Leslie and I just had something funny happen this morning and we want to tell you about it. First of all, let's acknowledge the top knot. I think I did the best I ever did. Comment below. Let me know if you love the top knot. Check this out. Look at that. Cute.
This is my comment. I'd be like, doop, doop, doop.
And so last night, I think it was last night, you voice messaged me and you were like, let's get on at 45. And it's funny because last time we're like, let's get on at 45. And we're like, yeah. And then I'm like brushing my teeth. I'm like, sorry, Leslie, she's ready to go. She's like, Candy, get it together. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I just like drank a smoothie with cacao in it. And there's cacao up in my teeth. So then this week, what happened? Leslie goes, Candy, let's get on at 45. Let's meet. Let's talk about it. Let's prep for the show. And then I do my top knot early, make sure my eyebrows are solid, got my highlight. And then I get on at 45. What happened?
Crickets.
Crickets. Nothing. So Leslie.
Crickets.
Cricket.
Crickets.
And Leslie's car was where? What happened with your car?
So my side of the story is I actually had a live video. Some of you tuned in. I know I actually had another live video this morning introducing a guest facilitator. Super excited about that. And I was like, that's perfect. I'm going to stay right where I am and I'll transition right into Tea Talks. Clearly, I'm not at home. I'm actually at Balboa Park, which is just stunning, stunning, stunning. I know if you've been to San Diego, you've probably been to Balboa Park. It's just ginormous and so beautiful. And I was going to just transition right into Tea Talks. Our conversation ended at 9:30. I had a few minutes to say goodbye and then be here. And my friend, being local from San Diego, was like, wait a minute, where did you park? And I'm like, oh gosh, I forget parking's like such a thing. And I'm like, well, I parked, did it. I told her, she's like, I think that's 2-hour parking. And when does your next live video end? And I told her, and she said, you might want to just quickly go check your car. And I said, okay. I was kind of like, but I told Candy I'd be there and I need to be on time. And like, but I was like, you're right. Let me just go check my car. I'm like, I'm just going to check it and walk back. I check it and I happen to be in 3-minute loading parking.
3 minutes.
And I had already been sitting in Balboa Park for actually over an hour. So it's so funny. It's just so funny, you know, with my intention being to be on time, to be timely, to be present. And that was my intention. And so then it was just so funny that I'm like, all right, let me go check my car. 3-minute parking, thank the universe, no ticket. And my car was still there, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
And so I moved my car, which if you've been in San Diego, it's not just like pull into the next spot. It's driving around block after block looking for parking. So here I am. Late. On time for you guys, late for Candy.
Welcome to Tuesday Tea Talks Mid-Morning Show. I am Candy.
And I'm Leslie, and we are so excited to have you here for today's conscious conversation. Hopefully you have your tea, your coffee, whatever's in your cup, let us know. And we're so excited to be here live with you for Tuesday Tea Talks.
All month long, we are talking about new decade demands major upgrades. So as you can see already, 2020 has been like, well, Like, here's a blessing, and whoops, here's a lesson. Blessing, lesson, blessing, lesson, right? And you already know it. I mean, come on, comment below if you feel that. We're gonna tell you all about how to dream bigger and take action. Stop talking and start walking. Like,
Yes.
learn to reveal what is in your way from truly achieving the things you want this year, and then break through hidden energy blocks so that you can crush it in 2020. Are you guys down for that? Oh my gosh, we've been talking about this all month long. And just to kind of really review for you guys that are watching, comment below, let us know where in the world you're tuning in from and what you are sipping on, and we'll say hi to you guys. But all month long we've been talking about this, and the first thing we talked about is really fully like getting clear on the desires that you actually want, and not like what does success look like to you, right? And I think that was such a big conversation that Leslie and I brought to you, because we keep chasing these goals. This is why 95% of New Year's resolutions fail, because we're chasing goals that aren't really our goals or aren't really true to us. Then we talked about making it about how you want to feel, not at all about what you want to do, because Leslie and I talked about it. What you want to do, you check it off the list and you're still not fulfilled. And we're going to really dive into that today on really releasing the attachment to the outcome. But then we taught you guys one of our favorite tools, scripting to manifest. And so if you missed that video, definitely go back and watch the replay, because Leslie and I would not have been able to create our lives without this tool. Her and I, we're both doing it. We're in the deal. We're full-time entrepreneurs. We're coaching women all over the world, hosting international retreats, and we're literally living the life of our dreams. But that wasn't always possible, right, Leslie? You were once a nurse. For those that didn't know that, Leslie was an ICU nurse at one point, and I was a corporate wellness professional. Our jobs weren't that bad. Like, we actually enjoyed them, and
still very much helping people.
Yeah, still very much doing what we wanted to do. And it just got more clear and more clear when we started implementing these practices, and that's why we're sharing this with you. So today we're going to talk about releasing the attachment to the outcome and what that really looks like in a way that serves you. And it's not being committed to a goal, because a lot of spiritual people could be like, oh, but I'm not attached to the outcome, and then just like fully just, right, like float around and be passive and not really get anything done. But then there's the other side of it that's like you want that goal and you're not going to be satisfied until you get that goal. And there's also a downside to that, right, Leslie? Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's get to some of these comments and then we'll dive in. So hello, Marisol joining. Jessica.
Hello.
Hello. Betty, of course, says, I love Balboa.
Oh man, it's so green. It's just green everywhere. I love it.
Jessie is walking her dog currently, making beet juice before. I was like, you're walking your dog and making beet juice?
Hi, Dex. Hi, Dex.
Hi, Dex. If you're on, comment below. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from, because we can see a bunch of people joining, but we can't see who's on. So comment below. We want to say hi to you personally.
Yes.
This Tea Talk show would not be what it is without our Tea Talk family. So we're so grateful for you, as always.
Otherwise, it would just be us having an epic conversation with each other, which we do all the time anyway. And that's exactly where this show came from, is like, we got to share this with others. So the tribe is really what makes Tea Talks a thing.
Pause. It's 11:11. Everybody,
right when I say that.
Everybody make your wish. It's 11:11, and that wish will come true this year in 2020. Hopefully it's about your goals, your aligned goals, and releasing the attachment to the outcome. So what conversations have you been having about this, Leslie? Because I know I've had a ton with clients who are like, man, I'm just trying to get there. I'm just trying to get to the thing, right? And then you get there and it's like, oh man, then I got to get to the next thing.
Right.
And then like you get there and then you get to the next thing. What conversations have you been having?
So many, but it's I loved when you sent me a voice message that this was going to be really the main theme and the main tea topic for today, because I think it was the next day, but that same weekend you sent that message, I was actually co-leading a breathwork journey, and I'm always so just humbly inspired by the deep work that some of these people are doing, and really how scary and confronting and like yeah, scary and confronting, I think that really covers it, this deep dive can be, meaning doing some of the deeper healing work. And I specifically, there was like something I was saying during the journey, and it was a moment that I just felt the energy in the room shift. I wasn't even really looking at people. It was kind of dark. Maybe I noticed a few people, but it wasn't even that I could visually see it. It was more of like a feeling shift in the energy. And it was right after I said, there's nowhere to arrive. You have arrived. You're already here. You're home. And it was like, you could feel literally the relief. And so it was so just incredible when you sent that voice message this weekend, presencing this conversation. And I really wanted to share that specifically from breathwork, because I know for myself, for so long, I literally thought that there would be some book, some course, some training that would be the final, like, okay, I'm finally healed. I'm finally free. And I really, like, truth be told, I really thought that to be the case, which is why I was signing up for every course, every book, everything known to man. And not that I thought I was horrible, but I was like, I know there's some stuff that needs fixed and changed. And so I thought that it was like, let me do this, 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 and this, and then I'll be fixed. And this is going to be a beautiful way to tie in this whole conversation, because it's very similar to our goals. I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then I'll have this outcome. Then I'll be happy. Then I'll be successful. Then I'll be free. Then all. And then we get there, and it's still one side. And the cycle never stops. Same thing with your own healing, your own journey, your own self-discovery journey, is when I finally realized, and truly not only realized, but came to that level of acceptance. And then 2.0 was welcoming it. We won't talk about that today, but just accepting the fact that there isn't an end point. In fact, I don't want there to be an end point, because I am that dimensional. I am that complex. I am that dynamic, that it's not even 3D. It's not even 2D. There's so many dimensions and angles and levels and layers that makes me me. And so a lot of the work we do in the beginning, we're just kind of like shedding like the mom story, like these like kind of more like obvious, if you will. But as I go on my journey, I realize that there's such deeper and deeper and deeper layers. And as we navigate and journey and what I call adventure through those layers, we're living our life. We can only, and I repeat, only, I'll say it one more time, only get to these subtler layers where the true embodiment, the true living begins through living our life. It's not through a course. Yes, there's guidance that can happen. Of course, teachers are always, always, always needed. But that can only happen through life. Me breaking through my vulnerability and really honestly difficulty in relating with women only happened because Candy and I walked it together. I learned a few key tools in my courses, absolutely, for communication. But it wasn't just knowing those tools that broke me free. It was having the tools that really made it easier and helped the process, but it was me going first. And so that's today what we're going to talk about in relation to your goals, as well as your life, which same, right? Is that there isn't an arrival point. And as soon as we can accept and really own that you've arrived, if you are on this tea talk and you can even closely, even a teeny bit understand this conversation, you have arrived.
Mm.
You are here. And the sooner you can own that, then you can start running. But it's when we marinate, literally marinate in this, like, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. You are on this conscious conversation. You have arrived.
Comment below, you guys. Comment this below. I have arrived, and Leslie and I will talk more on this topic. But really, it's just knowing that there is no destination to what you are creating and accomplishing. Yes, there's milestones, right? Like, yes, there's like pivotal moments in your life that you can celebrate and be proud of. But what Leslie is saying here is that, there is no destination. You have already arrived where you need to be right now. And we'll expand on this, but I'm so excited. So I see the comments coming in, that mind-blowing emoji. Yep, totally, we get it, because we're going to talk more on this. But I would love to just share when I got this, and when Leslie got this, we can share that. Betty commenting below, I have arrived. Yes, beautiful. We'll expand a little bit more on this, but what I want to share around this, you guys, is it's not like we're in it for the long haul. And I think I wrote this because I always presence myself to this, millennial generation. I was talking about this on a podcast interview the other day, is we're known as the video game generation. From the adults before us, they're oh, they're the video game generation. They quit so easily, they give up so easily, they've grown up with instant access. That's kind of the negative collective label they've given us. Why though? Because we grew up in a time where we had a question, we could literally search it on the internet, especially our younger millennials that actually I remember taking I took a computer class. I didn't teach my parents to use a computer. That's my generation, my era. And for those of you younger, you might have grown up with an iPhone, who knows, but in this generation, in this time, my coach would always say, my basketball coach who was on last week would say, y'all got it so easy, you don't even know. I had to go to the library and get an encyclopedia, and you guys Google the answers to your tests. That's how you have it right now. So then when it comes to our goals, because I know all of you watching are in this age range, when it comes to your goals, we want it instantly. We want it now. We want it yesterday. Leslie and I talked about this. We remember in the beginning of our journey, in our entrepreneur journeys, we're we want our goals last week. We want to have
I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing. Why isn't it happening already?
Yeah. And it's so funny because we would talk about I remember sharing with her vulnerably, this person inspires me so much. And then what I told myself was she's doing this, so I gotta be doing that. And then yesterday, she's grown this community, I need to do that too. And I need to have that, and when I say yesterday, I mean right now, in this instant moment. And really that's wouldn't you say, Leslie, that's the quickest way to steal our joy is because what do we miss out on, you guys? The process. It's kind of like when you hike and you're getting to the top and you look down the whole time. And some people are into that, but let me tell you what you miss out on along the way. It's the little tiny moments where you maybe find, yes, that lizard or grasshopper or spider or something, and you're wow, as you can watch it in nature, you might spot a waterfall or something, and you would otherwise miss these opportunities if you were just focused on the end goal. Does that make sense? Are you guys getting this? Comment below.
Totally. And Candy, what I wanted to add too is those are so much of our confirmations and messages too. And so same as when we're hiking a mountain, but then same in your life, both, everywhere. Doesn't matter if we're on a mountain or off a mountain. But when we're here, like goal, 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 goal is get to the top, get to the top. Ambitious, awesome. Dedicated, awesome. But I know for me, Aries, literally first sign of the zodiac, go first, go first, go first. That's been my entire life. It hasn't always been in entrepreneurial space, but it's been in whatever space I'm in. But within that, I've oftentimes missed a lot of messages and confirmations that were right in front of me. And so simply by stopping, presencing, just as Candy says, the process, what is in front of us. Maybe that lizard. I mean, like, I've literally received messages now, interpretations, confirmations from so many things that if I were to just be so concerned about getting to the top, I would have missed. And that, I just, it's so funny to me how women want clarity. I think that's like the number one thing I hear. There's a few things, but one is like, I just need clarity. I just need clarity.
And
But
like, how do I like get these messages, right? Like you hear about angel numbers and you hear about spirit guides. I mean, I've gotten asked questions from people stepping into this, like, how do I meet my spirit guides? Like, how do I learn, you know? It's like, we're not slowing down enough to even see, like, you know. And I was just sitting out.
Totally.
I know you wanted to keep rolling, Leslie. I was just
no, I was done. That was it. That was, yeah, that was beautiful.
I was just sitting at Hash Kitchen for Christina Sloan's birthday. Y'all go wish her a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, lovey.
We're so grateful. Happy birthday, Christina. We're so grateful for this woman in our tribe. She's just amazing. And she's contributed so much just by being who she is and just by doing her own warrior work. She's amazing. But we were at Hash Kitchen celebrating her birthday, and I went to the bathroom and I come out and I see like all these people freaking out. And then Christina's just there, super calm. And there's a bee flying around her table. And she's just like, you know, and everybody else is like, oh my God, you know, freaking out over this bee. And it's like, it's just so interesting to me how like you miss out on such an opportunity, you know, like what if you were to slow down and notice like all the bees all around you all the time, you know, like maybe you wouldn't freak out as much when you see one bee. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of like that, like for sure. So I think definitely if you take away anything from this conversation, it's that like, how can you like really bring awareness to the fact that you're in it for the long haul? It's not just like, you're not going to retire in 2 years, right? So like, why do you want to accomplish all of your goals in the next 2 years? Like, how lame would that be, right? If you're like, well, 25 or 26, and you're like, okay, we're good. Check. Did that healing, check. Did that goals, check. Like, sure, you guys want more for yourself, and that's amazing, but really just presence the fact that you're in it for the long haul. Right? That's amazing. I love it.
And even if you're really ready to claim that, comment that below. I am in it for the long haul. And it really just in claiming that for me, like I said, you know, 2.0 is welcoming it, but accepting, like really totally claiming, like, you know what? I'm signing up for this for life. Like I remember kind of when I had that exchange with myself. I was actually in India deep in my training, and I remember there was a moment where I was like, I was kind of fighting it. I was like, no, I don't want it. But I knew, it was like a soul knowing of, all right, I surrender. White flag, all of it. I am in this for life, period. And I'm not going anywhere. It does not matter what's thrown my way, kicked down, fall down 7 times. That used to be my favorite saying when I was younger: fall down 7 times, stand up 8. And the more that we can really just like stand in that, the rest takes care of itself. And that I can cross my heart and hope to die. 100%. The rest will figure itself out. If you undeniably show up, really anchor your staying power and just throw up the white flag. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm married to this journey. This journey is my life.
Mm.
There's nothing much else to do.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like Leslie and I are able to say this so confidently because we've had these realizations on like what Leslie said earlier. And I love that she said this is like living your life. Like her and I were able to get this not because we read it in a book, you guys. I don't even know if this is in a book. like is it even in a book? Because I could have sworn that this book said I was gonna like free myself of energy blocks, like or whatever else, you know. And so it's so funny because I remember like I went on a run of like personal development. I was reading all the books. I had the coaches. I had the people. You know, like I was like learning all the things. And I was like, cool, I'm like healing myself. It's amazing. Like having all these breakthroughs. I'm kicking and screaming, but I'm having the breakthroughs. Like and you know, Leslie and I, we both like went on our own journeys. Like she was traveling 2018. I was traveling in 2018. And we met up along the way, of course, like for, you know, Bali retreats and stuff, adventures. We also hiked the Himalayas together. If you've been following us for a while, you might know that already. And you know, I through that journey, I would say I was definitely in a space of like soul searching and really like self-discovery and like healing and just like really a like full on like self-observation, really discovering that who I thought I was is like made up by me, you know. And it was so crazy to have that realization. And most of you are probably in that, like maybe right now, or maybe you just went through it, or maybe you're just stepping onto that journey, you know. But for me, I was really like, you know, really discovering, wow, the identity that I am, that I tell myself I am, that I think I am, is really an identity that I've created and I've agreed with. And so I've proved it to myself my whole life. And so it was almost like this, like, who am I then, really? You know, like, who am I? And it's like, I get to create that. I mean, obviously, there's characteristics about myself that have always been there. There's Dharma, you know, we hear about Dharma, the law of Dharma. It's like, there's a unique purpose that I'm here on this planet for. So there's that. And then I was just in this discovery mode. And when I got back, and I just started reconnecting with people, I'm like, oh, shoot, like, like it was like, oh, this isn't the end, like it's like the beginning. And it was one of those moments where I really thought like when I got back I would be this like healed individual, and then I would be like this, like I would know who I was, you know, I would like be fully in that. And it was like, oh shit, like, and
that
like,
was the beginning.
that was just really the start, like, oh snap, when you think about it. And so, you know, I got back and I just was like, wow, this is really just the beginning of this journey. And I've really, as you can see, transformed since then. And so has Leslie, like we've fully stepped into like the identity we truly are versus like, and we've done a lot of unbecoming, you know. And so if there's anything we want you to take away from this is like, if you're on that journey and you're like really presence to like, oh yeah, like you're checking things off the boxes, or you're having these breakthroughs, just remind yourself that, you know, like we talked about it the other day, Leslie, and I really loved this conversation about how natural these healing opportunities arise when we're literally just like living in alignment with our, like living our lives, doing the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what I want to add to that is when we hear opportunity, because opportunity can sound like a positive word because it's purposely chosen that we say opportunity versus.
Christina's actually on. Sorry, keep going. But
hello, Christina.
We said happy birthday to you. I don't know if you saw it, but we gave you a birthday shout out.
Yes, I'm so grateful to have spent a whole weekend with her for the Warrior Women Wellness Retreat. Like truly, so that was so special to me.
Yeah. Opportunity.
So opportunity. So I actually Sunday night had an opportunity present itself that was actually really uncomfortable, like super uncomfortable. Yet it was an opportunity for me to go deeper, to look at my way of being, to look at myself, to look at how I relate with women, how I don't relate with women. And we hear opportunity like it's going to be this like packaged, pretty, like, oh, here's, go ahead and look at your self love.
The
No.
meditation mentorship.
Yeah, come do the meditation mentorship. It's, you know, sometimes opportunities are packaged up exactly what we asked for, perfect, with a bow on it, delivered by Leslie even. And sometimes these opportunities are really difficult conversations that, like, for me, my heart was beating fast. I had a pit in my stomach. But what I received, and going, you know, this is what I thought of, Candy, when you said these opportunities naturally arise, because I wasn't really expecting this conversation. It wasn't in my plan. It wasn't in my like daily practice plan of what I was going to address within myself, but it naturally arose, this conversation. And for me, it's really thrown me into, well, it would have back in the day thrown me into a downward spiral, quite honestly. And because I have the tools and resources and, you know, education, knowledge, and practice that I have, I'm able to really take it, really receive it, and dissect it in a way that has me grow and has me really in an empowered way. Doesn't feel good the whole time, but really look at different parts of myself or even relationship. And I love that Candy said alignment. The more and more we're living in alignment. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this bit in since it's really in relation to this whole conversation about an end point. Because even alignment, like just blanket statement, you guys, everything, if we truly believe that everything's energy, that means it never will be the same again, or again, or again, or again. In other words, it always will be evolving. So meaning you might say, okay, this is what's in alignment for me, these people, these places, these actions, these things. And at that level of consciousness, that might be true. 2 years later, what's in alignment for you shouldn't be the same it was 2 years ago if you're truly evolving and growing. Now, it might be very similar. It might be almost identical. But I know for me, as I grow, there's certain things that were once in an alignment 2 years ago that now they're actually not. And that's okay. And so part of this conversation also brought light to a few areas that I want to look at that I hadn't really been looking at in my life. And so I really wanted to presence that as these opportunities that naturally arise for you to do the work as you're living your life. Once again, it takes presencing. I could have taken this difficult conversation, made it all about myself, what I did horrible, you know, I could have like really taken it on. And instead, I just immediately was like, what? Nope, I know this is an opportunity for me to really look and go deeper in this area that honestly my attention wasn't even really on. So, but God, universe has my back and knows I need to go there.
Epic. This is like some real next level conversation. Like,
yeah, you guys, this is pretty advanced stuff. So I do want to throw that in there. This is pretty advanced stuff. And so I really appreciate each of you for hanging in and like being so not only open to the conversation, but like meeting us there. I love that.
Yeah, because Leslie and I, when we share this stuff, really, we're not like, I can tell you, like, I almost love that we were able to share, like, and I'll say this with caution, like, I almost love that we were able to share that we just jumped on at 11, what was it, or 10, yeah, 10:55 Arizona time.
Yeah.
Literally, I was making tea. We said nothing. We prepared nothing. Like, you know, and I like, I say this with caution again, because it's not like we don't care about you guys, but we just like, this stuff just flows through us, you know. It's not really something you can read in a book or like learn from a course, you know. It's really something you'll get from like really living your life and applying these, like Leslie talks about, tools and practices. And I want to give you guys kind of an idea of what that actually means, because it's not just like, yes, there's tools and practices and whatnot, but it's like you actually have to apply. I love that she said tools. I think you said tools and something else, but then you said practice at the end. And I'm like, this is really what it takes. Like, you think you'll get it from reading the book or going to the conference or doing the thing or whatever, but it's like you'll get it from applying it and actually living your life. And like literally like vulnerability, I learn about it from Brene Brown. I hear about it, I'm like, oh, that sounds nice. And then the moment you're in a really tough situation, we're like, ah, shit, we got you know.
Here it is.
Here it is. I normally don't cuss on the show, so today is like extra special because it's like, but it's like for real, this is what, you know, happens. Your life will present you the opportunities, especially, I mean, I can't stress this enough, especially if you're teaching this stuff or if you're sharing this stuff with others, you will get smacked in the face with the lesson that you're sharing with others. Like not nice.
Absolutely.
Not nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Beautiful. So how are y'all feeling?
Yeah, let us know. And actually, I just loved when Candy was sharing her story, and I can't see any comments, but I just was feeling, let us know, ladies, too. I would love to hear where some of you really feel, not to gauge it, but I'm just curious, like in what maybe I shared and what Candy shared with her journey, what part did you really resonate, or you're like, I'm totally there, like I feel like I'm just beginning, or you know, where do you really check in with yourself? What part that we've shared of our own stories really struck a chord with you, where you're able to really see, wow, okay, that makes sense. That's where I'm at in my journey. Because sometimes we start and we feel like we have to always be at the starting point. And some of that is really gifting ourselves the permission to keep moving forward, and like acknowledging, I know Candy is like my queen of acknowledgement, which I'm so grateful for, but really also acknowledging the steps that have been taken. Just like Candy, what I really got from what Candy shared is like this grand adventure was kind of like her soul journey, right? And she was going to go do that. And she did that. And it completely cracked her open and shifted her perspective. But then she realized coming back, oh, snap, like this is actually where my journey really begins. Now I'm cracked open. So I've done the work, but now I get to go live it. I get to go implement it. I get to go back to all these women and actually walk what I've been talking. And that's when, as all of us can agree, probably, that's when at some point or another we've been paralyzed. I know I have. It's like, but and that literally, I mean, like, I wish there was some other secret ingredient, some other tip I could tell you. But ultimately, that choosing to push, step, walk, crawl, rollerblade, whatever you got to do to take that first step past that, that is where you will begin living what I call the adventures of life, and where you really will begin that complete embodiment and really building that identity that you keep saying, right, that you want to step into. And so to do that, like to literally do that, it takes, when those moments of, I can't, my voice, my stomach, my butt, that is your homeostasis. That is your programming. And so all the books you've read on how the mind works and how we reprogram the mind, it's literally creating a new pathway, literally, figuratively, and literally.
And be honest, you guys, does this conversation make you want to vomit? Like, because here's the thing, like we want to share this with you, but we also want you to know, like, there's an upside to it too. It's not just this whole, like, because I don't know, and I'll just be fully vulnerable and transparent with you all, only because you are my Talk family, because I don't really share this often with anyone. Like, Instagram doesn't get this. But what I will share is that, like, I literally, like, wanted to vomit when I found this out. Like, I literally was like, oh shit, I'm in it for the long haul. And like, does that mean it's gonna look like this? Like, and
forever.
Forever. Like, and it's crazy because for me, and Leslie knows, because firsthand, she's my best friend, so she knows how I kick and scream when these opportunities come up. Like, oh shit, here we go. We'll vomit first, and then we can have this conversation. I we can talk about it, but like when we were on the balcony in Bali that day, I didn't take like I was gonna just like, hey, how are you doing? Check in and then like leave like right away. Like that was my instant like, and we're having this hour, was it hour, 2 hour, 3 hour? I don't know, long
I
conversation.
think it was like 4 hours, but you know, same.
I didn't take my backpack off. I was ready to go. I was still ready to go. I didn't sit down. I didn't take my backpack off, you guys. Like, I will share more about this story with you, I'm sure. But Leslie and I had to have a conversation that was pretty vulnerable about our relationship and like the things that really trigger us and like really make new agreements and commitments to each other to like show up for one another. And how can we support each other? How can we come back to
Yes.
truth and love? And literally this whole time I didn't take my backpack off. So I just want to tell you that like in case you're wanting to vomit right now, and I see your comments coming in, so we're going to talk about them.
Yes, I want to hear. I want to hear.
Yeah, but if this is making you want to vomit at all, you're in the right place. Don't worry, we're going to talk about the upside to it in a minute. So
We're going up
we're
on
going
a Tuesday. We're going up on a Tuesday. That's your transition music.
the transition music. I know it. All right. So
Excuse me.
oh my gosh, I love these. It's refreshing. It's very refreshing because sometimes we can get the impression. This is from Lee Maries.
Ooh, hey Lee.
Hey. Um, Sometimes we can get the impression that things can be always smooth. Fully knowing life isn't like that. This just eases my mind knowing that I am where I'm
Huge.
supposed to be. Beautiful. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
So where you're supposed to
Totally.
be. Marisol, me and Leslie have talked about actual dreams that I have, and we've talked about my dreams as an individual and how I can accomplish my dream of being a mother, thinking that was it, that was my end, but I'm constantly feeling guilty for not being the greatest mother, realizing that it is a journey, but it is something that every day I learn how to become better for. Exactly.
Yes.
Isn't that so much? Imagine if there was like, check, got it, mom, I'm the perfect mom, you know, like that would be
Now
so
I get to
nice.
just sit back and like I've made it.
I made it. All right, you kids go raise yourself. Like we got this. Like I'm the perfect mom, you know, like, and I love this. I love this. She keeps
I love that.
in here. Yeah, she says that it is a journey and it's something that every day I learn how to become better for. So I do have goals now to become a better person for her journey, to be a little different than mine. For I'm assuming this is your daughter's journey. For her journey to be a little different than mine was as a kid, and that's all I could ever want for my kids, just to
Yes.
have a better life than what I was given under the circumstances and with time change. Totally. 100%.
Totally.
Generational healing happens when you heal your own self. Like when you show up for you, Marisol, and I love that you've been in communication with Leslie about this, because when you show up for you, that's when the stories and the anything else that you don't want to pass on to your children don't get passed on to your children from you doing your healing and showing up for you.
Yes. And I want to add in that's so common. I've actually been in communication with quite a few mothers, like specifically lately. It just happens to be. And it's such a common pressure belief that I have to be a good mom and this is what a good mom looks like. And it's so much so I can't the pressure, like the pressure that's put on you as a mother and the pressure that's placed on yourself as a mother literally is so debilitating where it's almost like these women have been punishing themselves, like not intentionally, but almost feeling like they have to completely sacrifice, completely like punish themselves to be this idea of the best mom. And then they're tired, they're burnt out, they're like, and I Marisol, that reflection, I am just so excited to continue our conversation because I remember I was like, so we were talking dreams and desires, and she's like, I've already fulfilled my dream of being a mom. And I'm like, all right, well, what other dream, you know, like, what do you really want? And she's like, I don't really like, I've already fulfilled it. And so I love hearing that from our conversation and you going through your own process that you're discovering, no, wait a minute. I actually can have and do have other dreams and desires. And all of it is going in to include you being an amazing mother, which
Mhm.
is even more exciting.
Yeah, that's so interesting because I try to do that too, Marisol. Like it's a little sneaky, like self-sabotaging behavior when you're like, I've already done everything I wanted to do. Like, what else is, I don't even need anything else. You know, it's almost like this, like, gosh, noble character, you know,
Mm.
characteristic, right? Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
so noble, I don't want anything else for myself, right? Like
Yeah, I
I'm
like that word.
selfish,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, like yeah, and it's just so because it's sneaky. Like that's the sneakiest form of self-sabotage because what like how old are you? I don't know. I'm assuming in your 20s, maybe 30s, I don't know. But how like lame would that be if you're like this is it, life can just go on now because I've done everything I wanted to do. It's like, what?
Yes.
You know how much time you have ahead of you? The life expectancy is like 80 something years old, you know? And I love this because it's like,
And kids leave the house around like when they're 20, 18, 19.
and that's what's crazy because that's what happens with the empty nester syndrome. It's like you put your whole life into your kids and you neglect your own desires and then yeah, let's kind of like end the stigma on like desiring. Can we do that right here? Like, can we claim that on this show? Because I've heard this before in like spiritual communities, like desires are not good or like desires mean you're selfish. Like, no, desires mean you're freaking living your life. Like,
You're alive.
you're alive. Like, you're alive and you're doing your job here on earth. Like, how lame would it be to come to be gifted this human experience, this life, this like beautiful creation? Like, look at this, you know? How lame would it be if you weren't supposed to enjoy it? Like you're
I'm pretty sure Gandhi had a couple desires, so did Mother Teresa, and these desires were so pure and so deeply rooted and so clear that they had the impact, the everlasting legacy that they've had. And it was solely because they were connected
yeah.
to, I mean, hello, I have a dream. Where do you think this comes from? A
Yeah.
goal, like a New Year's resolution? It is a deep, not mind led desire. It is a deep, deep heart led desire.
Yeah. And so it's like it's a heart-led desire that you really want. It's not an ego-led desire that you want. And I think that's what people mean to say when they're like, I release my desires and I surrender to source and stuff like that. It's like, no, source, God, like universe wants you to experience life. Like wants you to, that's why we're gifted polarity. We wouldn't know joy without sadness. You know, we wouldn't know, you know, all these, like, I don't know, this is just kind of like, I'm like, that's a sneaky one because I totally get there. I get there.
Marisol, I'm so excited for you, babe. I can't wait to continue our conversation. I'm just like,
Yeah.
the fact that you on your own drew a lot of that is just, I'm snapping, babe. I'm snapping.
Yeah, like your daughter gets to have her voice. She said that she can have her voice, but you do too, you know? You do too, and you're finding
I
your
love
voice
it. Yes, you are.
so she can have hers. That's beautiful, amazing. So what else we got, Leslie? Are we transitioning or are we
I
I
think that's it. I can't see the comments. I know you can. So if that's all the comments, I think we're pretty much transitioning. I do want to announce, is there any more comments actually before we officially transition?
that's it. Looks like that's it.
Okay.
So thank you, Marisol and Lee Buddies for chiming in on. We kind of just like low key did the little ask and answer, like
Yeah.
yeah. So that's beautiful. I love it. I love this conversation. If you need more, so I did want to talk like just briefly, like for like 10 seconds. I'm like there is an upside. Because
Yes.
again, I told you, if you feel like you want to vomit, you're kind of in the right place. Like I definitely wanted to vomit when I found this out, and because it what it looked like before. Like I literally, like, if you guys know me, you probably know this. Like I was kicking and screaming to like develop and grow myself. Like, I don't know how I've gotten this far kind of thing. Cause I literally was like, I picture it being like, you know, the Flintstones car. I know this is like a little before our time, but I watched it as a kid where it's like the old school Flintstones where they like have the old school car and they're like pedaling with their feet. And then when they hit the brakes, they're like skirt. Like I feel like I did that for like a majority of my personal development for the first 12 months of my journey. I was trying to press
Sometimes I'm in the back, like pushing the car, like, ugh.
Go Candy, go. And I'm like, no, skirt, stop. Like, stop it.
I'm like, Scotty, come help me pull the car.
I'm like, no, Leslie, I'm not doing it. I'm not going. I'm not doing it. Like, we've had so many moments where Leslie's just looking at me like, all right, Candy.
I'll be waiting. I know you're coming.
And it's so funny because I say this like with humor, but literally like that's really what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah.
And so if you're in that space where you're like, oh, this thing is gonna be forever, like it's not gonna have an end, trust me. Well, what's the upside to it, Leslie? Like, we're literally living our lives where like everything we really desired for ourselves, and now we get to desire more. So this is what happens when you actually create the life you want to live. It evolves, your desires evolve, and now you want to do something differently and have an even bigger impact, and you know, really show up even more, you know, in this life. Like, this is the RIP Kobe Mamba mentality. Like, really, you know, like Kobe could have said, all right, I did 81,
I've made it.
I had 1 championship, I'm good. No, he said I had 2, nope, 3, no 4, no 5. He's like he wanted to be the best, right? And the best he could be. Like,
yes,
like, you know, he's like, I want to be the best like NBA player, but he wanted to be the best and do the best like in his own experience. It really didn't have anything to do with like being better than Jordan or whatever. It's like his best, you know what I mean? But like, RIP Kobe, like, this is like so present right now that you get to desire more for yourself. You get to release the attachment to the outcome because you're in it for the long haul. Like, you know, that's epic. It's not a bad thing. So I'm loving this conversation now.
I love the upside. I love that upside.
We get to impact so many people. We get to serve so many people. I don't know, Leslie and I are having this conversation with you from our laptops. You know, she's outside somehow.
It's wild, you guys. It even blows my mind to this day. And every day before I get on a live, I'm like, I literally will bow to my technology because I don't understand it, but I am so grateful for what it provides. Like, literally worldwide, I can do this and get to connect with each and every one of you.
We have,
and just like, oh, what'd you say?
We have done that. That's what's so crazy worldwide. Like,
right.
Like, how did you live in Bali for this long? And I'm like, well, we created that, you know, we did that. And it's so crazy. So this is the upside. When you get out of your own way, when you choose to show up and heal yourself and know that there's no destination, you're in it for the long haul, release the attachment to the outcome. You can accomplish all your goals, which is what we really want you to know on this month's tea topic. You can accomplish all of your goals and you can still desire more for yourself, but not in a I need more to feel fulfilled way.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to do last. So
yes.
Yeah.
And just like with Colby and just like with Marisol, it's like as soon as all of that occurred, all of a sudden she's like, wait, maybe I do have some more dreams in there. And Colby's like, wait, no, there's another championship. I mean, imagine if he just won 1 or 2 championships and then he still passed away in a helicopter. Would the whole world be thrown off?
Well, what's so
probably not, right?
Yeah. What's so crazy about that is that there's all these like headlines and articles like sharing about how Kobe did more outside of his league career, that he was in the league for 20 years. He did more outside of that after he retired than he did within the league. So can you imagine if he was like, all right, I already did it. I'm like in the NBA.
20 years career, I'm good.
Championships, like we're good. But no, he kept it rolling, and that's why the world stopped. Literally stopped when we lost this like soul, when we, you know, when we said goodbye to this soul for now. It's like that's why the world literally stops. And so you guys, like if that doesn't light a fire under your booty, I don't know what else does. I don't know what else will. So,
and I would love to even just take a moment of silence here on that note. I personally cannot say that I was a basketball fan. However, I felt it. I even felt it. And I can't say I'm a fan, but I even felt the pause, the shift in our society and the energy in our world when this soul left. And so taking a moment here of silence for, of course, the Colby family. We trust and know that their souls know where they're going, so they're good. But looking in your own life, everything that was discovered in this conversation, and really ending on the note of, I mean, cliche or not, life can be taken from us at any point, any moment. Nobody, not even Kobe Bryant, is exempt. How are you going to live your one and only adventurous life now? Do it for the ones who can't. Do it for your lineage. Do it for the people who will be transformed, who will be impacted. Do it for yourself, for your legacy. Taking the last few moments here, however it feels aligned for you, to really honor all the the legacy and lessons that Kobe Bryant didn't even realize he was leaving us. Or maybe he did. Coming back together. And these are the natural opportunities that arise in our lives that we have to really take a deeper look at our choices, at our life. Kobe Bryant isn't exempt. That means you're not exempt either. I'm not exempt. Candy's not exempt. We're in this human experience together. So can we have a little bit more fun, please? Yay.
Yes, amazing. That was such a beautiful conversation. For those of you that watch this show, please comment below. Let us know that you're loving it so we can keep it rolling and keep the hot songs coming to you. And yeah, did you want to talk about bond temps before we close out?
Yes. So this is, I believe, our last week of February.
You said February the other day, and I was like, Leslie Medley, like, I need you.
I really thought coming back to the States that would fix my what day it is. I can't say that it's maybe improved a little bit, but not much. I used to be like 3 months off. I was only 1 month off, but it's January, you guys. Don't freak out. It is still January. Last week of January. And that means that Bond Temps has been filling our cups all month long. We're so, so grateful. I'm just so grateful to even know of this tea company. I know a couple women last week were like, love Bond Temps. I actually didn't even know about them. So as soon as I came across their page and got connected, I was so grateful. And not only is Bond Temps incredible, but they have also gifted our community 20% off until the end of January. So until January 31st. That's 20% off. These teas, you'll notice the price point is a little bit higher, but it's for a reason. These are bleach-free, chemical-free tea bags, which if you're like, oh, I didn't know chemicals were in tea bags, the sad truth is even tea brands that we think might be healthier or organic still can have different types of dyes and chemicals in them. So I love their branding. go ahead and Candy will drop the link to their website, your entire purchase, 20% off. So if you know you love Bontemps or you want to get to know Bontemps, order now or stock up and use the gift that they so graciously gave us.
Use code Tuesday Tea Talks for 20%
Yes.
off. And yeah, we love Bontemps. And again, you're gonna pay for good tea, you guys. Just like you're gonna pay for a good coach, just like you're gonna pay for your development and growth. You're just like you're gonna pay for your house. Like you're gonna pay for a good tea. So
And I love these. I want to actually show the tea bag because I can always just tell by when I see the tea bag. Like, first of all, it's just so you can tell the quality's there. And it's actually like, I know the tea bags that we're used to using are more, I'm going to say mesh
paper.
almost.
Oh yeah, I'm like paper.
They're or paper, but this is actually a strainer. Like it's actually like a mesh little baggie. So it's literally holding the herbs in there without getting that like weird papery, I don't know what it is. And inside you can see this is actually ginger tea. So it literally is a bag of herbs, which is what tea is meant to be. And of course, cutest branding known to man. So Bontemps, I'm in.
Yes, totally. So thank you all for joining Tuesday Tea Talks mid-morning show. I'm Candy.
And I'm Leslie from Balboa Park.
And we'll see you next time on the Tuesday Tea Talks mid-morning show. Bye, you guys.
Bye.